Hey y'all, Faith Kelly and Casman Moon here again today. We are doing a very fun kind of last minute live stream because our friends, the Wally Bombs, Michael and Julia, they just got home from their big tour.
They made it home.
They made it home last night, and I think what really happened is that
the roses were looking beautiful.
Well, I had so many questions. I've got the text saying, I'm going to put you guys live in 1 second, but I have to say this to you first. I had this text saying that, they made it home safe, and my head got flooded with all these questions, and I was like, you know what? Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on the live floor. And I want to just ask my questions here, because why not? Let's see. Oh, accept. Yeah, go live. Hey, guys.
Hey,
welcome home.
how are you guys?
We're good.
Chilling.
We miss you too.
Chilling in the driveway. Your roses are looking nice.
Yeah, hair looks great.
Yeah.
Short hair. I almost cut my hair. I did cut my hair. I heard you sing the song. I almost cut my hair. Michael almost cut his hair, but we talked him into keeping the curls. He did cut it, but he still has his curls.
So Michael, when you moving back here?
I know we love the houses that you're sending us. Those are
the weather's beautiful now. It's going to be in the 80s next week.
Now it's really great. It's beautiful. So, but yeah, so I wanted to I had this silly little idea because I had so many questions. It's funny how you your first question is so when you moving?
Yeah, when you coming there?
Now that you're home, when you moving? But basically, for anyone watching, and we'll probably say this a few times throughout, I have a few questions I want to ask, and then we'll open the floor. So if you have any questions about touring, there's a whole lot of touring that's just happened between the weird phone line thing here. So we'll ask those at the end. But yeah, what was the first thing you did when you got home?
Hot tub.
Well, we don't have a hot tub here. We were in the hot tub in Phoenix at an Airbnb. So I wish we had a hot tub here, but the first
I'm just saying that we found a few houses with hot tubs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Kaz,
I know.
I'm just, I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm okay with moving. The first thing we did with here is I noticed the roses on the rose bush. And I was like, because I had pruned them, last year when all that dead stuff was coming off, and I saw that they were growing back, and the flowers in the backyard were growing, but mainly we just unloaded and went to bed.
Was it I don't know? I feel like when I get back to my bed, that song, The Reunited, and it feels so good.
Yeah. Totally.
Yo, y'all would have loved the Dale last night.
Yeah, we were thinking
about the 420 show. We thought about you a lot too. You would have dug that, man. I had a whole head full of questions, but then 420 came and went.
Oh yeah, so it was. I think it's within the hours. It's always 420 somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been 420 since '93.
Whoa. So yeah, that was. I was just curious about that. But how did the car do?
The car was fine. The car was great. I mean, we saved a lot of money driving the car. I don't want to do that again, though. I mean, I just kept on thinking, hey, Faith has a place where she can lay down in the back.
Yeah.
that was my first question was.
Where you can actually even if you can't lay down in the back, you can just you can recline.
When
I was your car was so fast.
For the long hauls.
No reclining. Yeah.
And how did you sleep? Did you sleep Indian style, like with your legs crossed, or did you
I haven't
did you recline back?
And Michael's on the dash a lot.
Michael's taller than I am. Michael's taller than I am. There's no way he got a good night's sleep in that Hyundai.
Well, we didn't have to. Thank God we didn't have to sleep in rest stops. We did do a couple of long hauls, but then we would get a hotel.
Okay, good.
Sometimes they were good, sometimes they were shitty. But we at one point
we did some not literal couch surfing. But
yeah, we did some couch surfing. Colette put us up in Columbus,
that was
awesome. And then family,
video games, right?
You guys helped us out, save some money, and we just tried to take advantage of the people that we knew that were, you know, offering their place for us. And
Yeah.
so that was really awesome. And it was good to, you know, connect with people too that we hadn't seen in a long time. So.
Yeah. That's kind of the addicting quality about it, is like, we got to go see these people again, and we got to go see these guys again. And
So when y'all going back out on the road?
Well, the 18th, we are playing a show in Tucson, Arizona with Little Cat.
Oh.
And
We're actually in Bisbee
we're gonna do a Bisbee show too.
on the 17th.
On the
Wait, the
7th.
teleportation device.
I know it's gonna be a 3 p.m. show, so it'll be afternoon. But
Where
yeah, I was kind of
are you
reflecting.
playing?
Huh?
Where are you playing?
Jeans.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I love jeans.
You gonna be playing with 20-foot neon Jesus?
no, I don't know. I don't know if she has anybody else playing that day. We're gonna stay in Katie M's trailer. She has a trailer there.
Hell yeah.
And so we're gonna see that,
Katie.
and and then we have Michael's parents that we're staying with in Tucson. So
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
yeah.
So back to the stays. What was the most, because I don't like to frame things in like positive negatives. So I'm not gonna be like, what was the worst place? What was the best? What was the most unique?
Memorable.
Yeah, I'm gonna say two, because I'm sure there's kind of like, there's on the scale of like experience, unique places that you stayed.
That we stayed.
Yeah.
Like a place that sticks out as being the maybe uniquely odd kind of, you know, like when we played Super Happy Funland, it was like.
Well, that's a venue. We're gonna do accommodation. Okay, I guess it's a two-part question: accommodation and then show.
Oh. Okay,
Do
so
accommodation first.
I have two accommodations. The first one is the place in Pennsylvania, the Love Place. What was that place called?
Okay.
Yeah, Harrisburg.
Dove Love Inn. It was, I think this is where people go to like have honeymoons or maybe get escort services. We're not sure. There were mirrors on the ceiling. And
Oh, that's kind of cool.
there was a hot tub though, like that wasn't already filled up. Like you filled it up yourself and it was clean. The carpet
Cool.
though, there was carpet in the room. So like by the hot tub, it was kind of wet. So it was like, you definitely needed your flip flops. And we were going to stay there. It's like, you know, it was clean enough. There wasn't any bed bugs. There was like the sheets were clean. Everything was pretty clean. It did have a very weird smell in there, I thought. But
I was wondering about the scent. I'm like, wet carpet, man. I don't know.
I
it
imagine
was like the weird cleaning product, like, I don't know, like a Lysol smell or something.
Like the 70s. It smelled like the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun though, but we did enjoy that.
Anybody who knows.
But it was
Wait, what was that?
Because there was like in front, you know how I did that animation drawing with the heart and the arrow going through the heart? When we pull up, there's like this handmade like heart clock with an arrow. It's sculpture, but it's like, it's very DIY, like heart, wrought iron heart with an arrow. And I'm like, it's synchronicity again.
It was like a heart clock.
It was a heart clock.
Like a heart clock. Yeah, I remember that picture. What was that?
Sculpture.
That's bizarre.
I clicked that before I knew it was existed.
It's time for love. Time for loving in the Poconos.
No, that's Harrisburg. That's like central Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's like
oh no, that's Appalachia, right outside of there. So like where I grew up.
Have you ever slept in a bed with mirrors on the ceiling, you guys?
No, we're gonna now that you told us about
definitely.
this place.
It is. It's kind of a cool, interesting.
We're going there.
It's like good for a little bit, but then you're like, okay, I don't know. Like
we're going there just because of y'all's review.
Yeah.
Your review is the reason we're gonna go stay there.
I just feel like I could end up spooking myself in the middle of the night.
Oh.
You know, like wake up, you're like, hey, what is that thing? So what was the second one?
I was gonna say the second one was definitely staying with Colette. I love her, but I didn't know her. I didn't. Yeah. She's a fan of the Flaming Lips, and she's like, "Hey, I'm coming to your show. If you guys need a place to stay in Columbus, let me know." And I was like, "Well, we could save money doing this." But she's friends with Campy, and we're friends with Campy, so there is a connection. It's not like we don't know each other.
Was that the place for all the video games?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
but
Oh,
we
that looked cool.
weren't friends. Like we were just. It's like another one of those people that you meet that you're like, did we know each other in another life? Like, because
Yeah,
we were.
sweet
And,
game
yeah.
room.
yeah. And so we played a bunch of video games, had a good time. They made us dress up. Well, they didn't make us, but they were like, dress in these costumes, the pink robots and Yoshimi. And I was like, are we gonna do this?
Well, we did.
How are we gonna
We
do
did.
it?
We did it.
Why not? You know, if it's you know what Ben and Jerry's
It was-
saying,
it
if
was
it's not fun, why do it?
But your place was so cozy. The cabin. I
See, I
freaking
was-
Oh,
love.
Jenny,
I-
Billy's cabin.
Okay, Michael gets his too because I guess they're
See,
both.
And in the cabin, the cabin over there by you guys.
It was so
Yeah.
awesome.
And we got the extra bonus earthquake.
Yeah. You got the New York earthquake.
Yeah, we don't really get those.
No, it's
so that's
it was the first one there since 1931.
Well, because we planned that just for you guys. We worked the deal out with the universe.
yeah. We're like, let's show them. Let's
really show them a good time. Give them an earthquake.
Well, what was funny is that the day before you were like, I remember you saying, oh, we didn't, because we have a train that goes by, and it's like, we thought, we're like, oh shit, we probably should have told them about the train that goes by at 1 a.m.
I see, that's a big ass train.
And you're right beside it. And you goes, oh, the train came by, and it felt like an earthquake at first, and it wasn't an earthquake. And then the next day,
She's trying to
was
say
an
we
earthquake.
summoned the earthquake.
It was an earthquake the next day. That was funny. But that was so much fun, and just seeing the beauty of the Catskills. I'm going to say for the venue, though, New Memories definitely was. As soon as when you
and
posted
it's some
that
cool ass venues, so if Bryson and James, they're all watching,
Dude,
that's pretty cool.
I love those guys, Bryson and James.
I told you it's the best stage in the area, man. They built a monster.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
so
interesting
sweet.
dudes.
When you posted that video of you guys doing the video of what was that video? Where was it? It's called the Maze of Death.
Oh, yeah, the Death Maze.
Death-
The Tiny Desk video.
which video?
Yeah, yeah, I did the Tiny Desk because Bryson was like, someone needs to make a video in this maze, and I just got the email for Tiny Desk, and I was like,
All right.
he's got a reason to make a video.
We got some fake blood. We got a medical gown. Let's
Well, we
go.
didn't put the fake blood it's going to be in the Time Bandits
Oh, yeah.
music video. That's different.
It's a
Oh,
good
I
video.
remember that video. I want to see that one.
I got to record the song first. I did it backwards.
I want to interview you too. By the way.
Well, I was just like, man, it's that, I know for Julia, it's more like it's first tour, like accomplishment energy, but like also Michael, it's got to be kind of weird going back to the DIY way in 2024, which is totally different. It's different. I'm sure it's much, we have phones.
Well,
That's like the big difference.
yeah, phones, GPS, all that fun stuff. And
I love GPS. Sheila, be my guide.
but I mean, there were a lot of things to me that were kind of just like it. It's just cool to see people doing this DIY stuff.
North Carolina loved y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was cool, and the Alley Cat Records, which I know they're going to move to like a bigger location, so that'll be cool to circle back to them hopefully.
Yeah, go see old Jeff.
Yeah, maybe in September or something. And when we played in Troy, the Reclaimed Church
Oh yeah.
was super cool.
With Max Lee
Yeah.
when we played
Yeah.
that
Yo,
Mount
that's a
Ida.
Mount Ida, I forget what
That's
they
a
call it,
great venue, man.
Preservation Hall,
Yeah, we
because they're
gotta call that guy.
repurposing.
You guys could play there.
We should all do.
Yeah, we're
the
gonna get a
triple
hold of
bill.
them and we're gonna do something pretty cool. We're gonna try to get something together for the summertime up
Yeah,
there.
It's so cool and echoey.
yeah, it was just
It sounded
just-
great.
just cool.
When we were looking for the show and we heard it from outside and we're like trying to find the entrance. It's like I can hear the music, but I can't find
You
it.
know what? Anything Max Lee has his hands in is gonna be badass.
Oh yeah.
The dude is no
Oh, yeah,
slouch.
that was super cool. Getting to meet him and play a show with him and stuff. That was just
Becoming an honorary air drifter.
And playing at the Art Barn too in North Carolina. That was very cool.
Oh, and then the Healer DIY. That was
Oh
cool.
yeah, you guys got to play there in Indianapolis. Do you guys
It's
ever go
Indianapolis.
to
And
Indianapolis?
that's where you met. That's where you stayed at the video game room.
No, that was
No,
Right?
that was
No.
Columbus.
That was
But
Colette.
Rumba
Colette
Cafe
is in Columbus.
is awesome too. They have a green room, and the green room is like an apartment. You go up, you
Uh-huh.
go right to the back, and then you go upstairs. You have your own shower there. You can take a shower if you get sweaty. They have like your own
Nice.
bathroom.
I'm all about those showers.
Dude, that's nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big.
and the
That's a
sound
big
guy,
a big
deal.
deal.
If any
the sound
other venues are watching, that's a big deal, man. If you throw a shower in, musicians be so grateful.
I know they had a coffee machine, water, like all kinds of stuff. Then
Yeah.
we played at some really awesome places.
yeah.
Planet of the Tapes was great. I loved that place because the backdrop, you could see my DVD that I made for my backdrop. So you could actually, like, it was like a security blanket. It made me, I feel like it made me perform better or something. It's like, I did that.
Yeah. No, man, I got to go
back
back
there.
and rewatch that then.
Huh?
I got to go back and rewatch that then.
I have an off question.
well-
I have an off-topic question for Michael.
Oh, no.
What do you have a name for your GPS person?
Uh, actually, no.
All right, I'm just
Do
curious.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yours is Sheila, and then mine is
Linda.
Linda. So, like,
Yeah.
And that's
Well, because
that's kind of funny because I read I can't remember which series of books. It's a weird science fiction book, and there one of the many subplots in the book is somebody is joining some arm of, future. It's in the future and stuff, and somebody's joining an arm of the military, and they're going in, what would be boot camp and stuff, but it's the future. So you have a little thing that it's not, I guess it sort of goes into your brain too. It's like there's an implant, but it's a thing that floats around with you like a phone.
it's your Sheila.
yeah.
So it's like people would name their phone, but everybody was so irritated. It would be some variation of asshole. So everybody in the story would be like, "Hey asshole, how far away is blah blah blah," or something like that, because they were just so annoyed with this thing floating around over their shoulder and
Telling you
stuff.
where to go.
But it was
Oh
just
my
funny
God.
that you said you named your GPS. It just made
Well-
me think of that story.
Yeah, because the GPS had gained a personality on the last couple tours,
Oh, yeah.
and so she became Sheila. And Sheila's like, sometimes she's on your side, she's got your best interests at heart, but sometimes she's just a total bitch. And so you can.
I'm going to make you drive 10 miles down the road to turn around.
Yeah, so you can get real with Sheila.
That's why you got to have the
So-
co-pilot to be like, doing the, no, we should just pop a Yui.
Yeah, her GPS, her name's Linda, and she's a little nicer.
Does
You got a better
Sheila
attitude.
ever get like a sore throat and it's like, Edward.
Oh,
Extra.
too late last night.
Like,
That would be Linda. Linda would stay up too
Yeah,
late.
Linda stays up too late.
Well, my
sometimes.
phone is usually working, like, I'm doing the video stuff, so it's like his phone is more GPS than Spotify.
That's why
And,
she gets pissed because you're left in the car all the time.
well, my phone, yeah, well, no, my phone is like, my GPS is nicer because she's like, all right. Poor Sheila's overworked.
Yeah.
So how long exactly were you guys away from home? How many weeks?
Well, we figured out. Well,
so we
did-
left,
did
came
it-
back, left, came back, but
And then we left we left March 15th. But just to do a whole
Wow.
review, we did we did one day in Oklahoma City. We did 2 shows in one day. So in 50 days, we did 26 shows.
Heck yeah. Wow.
From March 8th, I think, was
Yeah.
the first one.
yeah, it was fun though. I mean, doing the shows, doing the shows is the fun part. It's the driving. Like, I don't mind driving some, but like then sometimes I'm like, okay. when
Well,
we
you
get
guys
there.
Well, of
put this
course, you know,
together. It was so last minute. Not, I don't say last minute, but like when you book
Yeah.
6, 8 months out, it's like, all right, 2 hours here, 4 hours there, you know, X amount there. It's so much like, and then sometimes the occasional 13. Why did I do this?
Yeah.
Who does the majority of the driving?
He does it all. He
Yeah.
won't let me drive. And then he's got me, like the backseat driver, going, slow down, slow down, slow down.
I get that.
well, you know, there
I
were,
like.
you know, there's all these uh, grand plans when you start off of like, oh, we're going to get some work done. We're going to be able to write in a blog. We're going to be able to, you know, even advance shows or do emails. And of course, you get out driving, and then there's no reception,
I know.
and then you're just cramped. So you know, you can't really do anything.
It's like
So
3 a.m.
What about you guys? Who drives?
He
Do you drive
drives.
all the time?
all the time.
Very occasionally will I drive. It's like probably once, once a tour. Like where were we on the last one driving through Texas? I did like 4 hours. And then there's the one on the last tour to Bisbee. Remember we had 13 hours from Missouri to Virginia, and we woke up late. No, not late, but like I wanted to leave at 6. We woke up at like 9. And like I like that stop and look at the gas station kind of thing, you know. And we noticed there's a time change going forward.
Oh, shit.
So I'm sitting there, and load-in is at 6, and it's saying we're gonna play at 7. It said we were gonna get there at 6:36 when we were leaving at 9 in the morning, and we were like, oh no. So like
We got stuck in the Central America, like the
the
Central Time Zone
wormhole,
time warp. You know,
and somehow
it's weird out there where you cross those 3 time zones at once for some reason.
between, you know, I think in the morning when we looked at it, probably had some traffic, there was an accident down the road or something like that. It cleared up. Somehow we got the time down, had enough time to stop once to fill up
You time travel.
and use the bathroom, and then we rolled up at like 6:30, and we were like, holy shit. Usually I like to walk into a venue like
Those
2 hours
Sighters from
early.
Mars, right?
Yeah.
It's a good show. I like
Michael
that
like
place.
So
Michael plans
that
to
was
do that, but
sometimes it works. Every now
well,
and
and that was the drive that I did the second half because it was like 7 hours and 7 hours. It was like,
The thing is there's more room on the driver's side, and I have really long legs,
oh yeah.
and so if I'm over on the passenger side for too long, it's narrower over there. So
oh,
I just like to. I'd rather be over here. You know, it's a more comfortable place to be for me.
you know, I mean, he's a great driver, you know, so, but, how are you guys like feeling the day after, like, just like thoughts and reflections?
Now you're home. Now you're decompressed.
But, well, one day it's like they're still hot off the trail.
I-
Like, that's, I was like, let's do it.
yesterday, even though, you know, we sort of wrapped this whole thing up with a performance in Torrance, and the one thing I mean, everywhere has traffic, but there's just something so special about LA traffic.
It was better for us just to go to the venue instead of go home first. We wanted to come home first, unload, so we didn't have to unload and pack because that's how we have to get our stuff out with everything in it. We've got to unload everything and then pack, you know, take the guitars and the amp out and then put the cases on top of it. But we couldn't do that. We didn't have enough time because it would have been taking
That was the
2
biggest
hours.
suitcase I've ever seen. I've never seen a
No,
suitcase
we
that large.
gotta.
When you
You know, you just
pulled that out of the trunk of the car, I was like, "Holy shit!" It
well,
just kept going.
it's like you guys said though. It's like you finish the tour and you figure out, well, what worked and what needs work and
Mhm.
what can be improved on and stuff. So I think we'll you know, definitely reassess some stuff with that. I mean, even with you know, the instruments, because it's kind of. I think this is the first time for me is to go out on tour and then to come back with more instruments than you started with.
Oh shit.
I personally have never done that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. That's actually not true. I did buy a bass guitar once in St. Louis, but uh,
Couldn't say no to that Fender
but
6.
there was actual room. You know, it wasn't like, okay, now we have to reconfigure everything because Julia got me a bass 6.
For
Uh,
his birthday, which I
oh
think
right,
he's gonna keep. Yeah, you guys saw it.
yeah, you
Oh
guys.
yeah,
Yeah, you
cool.
should keep
He's
it.
Yeah.
gonna
It's a
keep
very
it. He
nice
took
guitar,
the
man.
off and everything.
And
Oh,
I have to take the
wow.
plastic.
And
I,
so it's real. It's really happening.
I have to take the plastic off the pick guard now. But
That's a big step.
Yep,
but
that's the full step right there. That's
but
commitment.
but now, you know, it'll be, you know, because I had a bass and an acoustic guitar, thinking, you know, coming out here, coming out here, out into the world and seeing, well, how are we going to present ourselves and stuff. And I think if I can wrestle a little bit more with the bass 6, I'll be able to figure out how to actually, you know, have the best of both worlds, you know, because, you know, once I was playing the acoustic, it was like, I don't know if I want to go back to playing bass now, you know, in really any configuration
Yeah.
that we do.
When you
So,
guys play as a duo, it's like a whole different sound. It's like when you play as a duo, you have almost like a kind of a spooky Western kind of 50s.
Yeah.
It's like David Lynch 50s doo-wop with
In
like
Japan.
in Japan with like a Western touch. It's pretty cool,
Although
Cool.
I'm
man.
bummed I
Yeah.
didn't get to
yeah,
see I'm
I like,
bummed I didn't get to see the full band configuration on
Yeah.
this tour of y'all because we got to see everyone in Bisbee,
Oh, sure.
and we got to see a whole lot of y'all in the Catskills in North Carolina, but it was like, oh man,
It's like, well, neither one of you live in the desert,
David
but
and Nathan.
as a duet, it's got like a spooky kind of desert vibe to it, you
Yeah,
know?
I wonder if it's because I
In
lived
Japan.
in the desert for 8 years, though.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I like that kind of 50s rock and roll backbeat that you have as a duet too,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, that's my mom's influence. I
And
mean, when
then
I came back, I felt, I don't know how about you when you guys come back from tour, but it was almost like I was going back in time. Like, what, where am I? Like, we are at home, but it doesn't, it's always, it
Yeah.
felt good to be home, but it was almost like, this is like part of our past. Like, we were, it just felt so weird.
Well, because you went on a mighty adventure. It's
because
like
you went to Greenville.
well, it's also like you go out and if it's like that time traveling. It's like sometimes like when we were on the 6 week tour, especially like a month is a lot, but only a month goes by. After a month, it's like whoa, like you go away, you do all this stuff, you make all these memories, experience all these feelings, make all friends, you come back and like you're in a different season, you know, or it's like the flowers grown, or you're like whoa, like things are different here, but I still feel kind of the same, like
Yeah.
except also changed by
We're
experiences
very
around.
blessed to what we come back to too, like the music community that we have back here. Like
Yeah.
when we get home and we go back to the Dale on a Thursday, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like having almost the best of both worlds. You got this whole world out there, but then you come back to what seems like to be the past. But you know, like it's something about going to the Dale, man. All of a sudden, it's just like, all right, the past ain't so bad. You
Yeah.
know?
But it's weird.
Yeah, it's a trippy transition.
What is this place?
That's, I know.
How was
I'm like, where am I? But I mean, I was writing in my journal about kind of the whole experience, and it's, you know, it's, we had to do it. Like, we had to go out because like you can only play so much in your living room with each other until, or open mics even, until you're like, okay, I want to see what happens when we go out in the world and experience different people and different things and different, you know, playing in different situations, and it's just part of the experience, part of the growth, and it's been so much fun.
when a thing that I think a thing that's, I don't know if it's different or it's my observation anyway. It's like when you're on tour, it's like the problems that come up are just, it's just like there's one problem at a time. I mean, we had a problem in Oklahoma City where I think we had taken Jablonski to the airport, and we were going back to the to the hotel, and I noticed, oh my God, we're out of gas. Like out of gas, like I've never been out of gas before. And then we got off the highway, and it's like, okay, look, there's one right there, but it was brand new and it wasn't open yet.
Oh.
And it was like, oh crap. Then there's one, just down there, and we made it, and you fill up, or it's like, well, what do you want to eat, or do you want to make coffee in the room, or do you want to get coffee on the way? All these things that, like when you're at home, it's like, seems like you just have, well, there's this thing you got to deal with, and this is happening, and that's happening, and what's happening now, but there's just there's a weird, I don't know what you would call it.
Living in the moment, like you're living in the moment more so. I
You're,
feel
you're
than
present 24/7.
yeah.
You bring back little pieces of the people that you met too with you. Like you might like a certain food that you didn't like before, or you might pick up like these attributes that you got along the way. It's kind of cool. So you come back with almost a new feeling about things. And
it changes every tour. So like it's I mean, first tour is always like it's every tour is special in its own way, but it's like they're all different. I'm sure like each week and each like, I mean, just going to Bisbee for y'all is a tour. Like that's not a short drive.
We played in North Carolina a couple times, but this past time we got to really know some people that we knew from before, but like really got to know, like Parker, for example, got to really like, so you meet people and then you meet them again, and then like all of a sudden you just really get to know them.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, those I know it's the bartender and Trapper over in Kirby's.
Yeah.
They love you guys, and said to say hi.
I love Kirby.
Yeah, let's talk
about
Kirby's for a minute.
Let's talk about Kirby.
Yeah, let's talk about Kirby's.
My favorite absolute.
That was one of my questions. Man. I was like, how was Kirby's?
Did you feel electrified on that stage? Yeah.
Cool.
When I walked in, I was like, okay, there was just like people at the bar. There wasn't many people there when we first got there. There were some people sitting outside, and I was just like, okay, wonder what this place is going to be like.
Well, and then you walk in. We walk in, and there's like tables and stuff set up.
It looked like this old jazz guy.
Oh yeah.
Black fro, and he looks like he's very serious, maybe a professor or something. I don't know. And then there was another older dude, and he was talking to me, and talking about the kind of music that he likes. But then, yeah, I know. And
we were walking around like, is this really because there's literally tables on the stage, and people are like, somebody was sitting on one of the tables working on a computer, and I think somebody else was having a drink, and we walked over there, and then we looked in the next door, which was a weird room full of pinball machines.
Yes!
And
yeah, that just opened.
And then we go next door to that, and it's like, well, maybe where they do the music's in here, and then that turns out to be a weird convenience store.
Yeah, did you? If you go there again, get the Euro for $5, man.
We didn't know about the secret Euros.
The secret Euros. That's our next time.
The guy closed.
The great thing about Wichita is it's you always go through it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that again. And Trapper was so cool.
Trapper's
and, we met Pinball Wizard there. He's a great musician, apparently.
You had to take the table off the stage.
Yeah.
No, they do. It's like they probably took it off me, right?
They did. They took it and put him outside.
So yeah, they just
put him outside.
Then we were like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" And then it was like, "Oh, okay, here's what's going to happen. So we're going to clear these tables off, and then blah blah blah." And, and then they just pulled the tables off, and then it became a little venue, like the coolest little venue.
And they were just, the kids, they're young kids coming in there, and they're dancing to your stuff, They don't know who you are, but they're dancing to it. And then it's like, you're hearing all these people yelling, and, You realize you look outside and there's a bunch of people outside.
Yeah, because I'm guessing they open up the door.
Yeah.
Little garage door.
Yeah.
That was
It's
so
a very
cool.
interesting venue because you have like you have a group of locals, and then they have, I guess the college is right around the corner. We drove through that one like last time. We've been there like 5 times, and then last time we came in a different way. We're like, oh wow, I had no idea there was a college right here.
Yeah,
I love
I guess
Kirby's.
Trapper was saying. I guess Trapper was saying it's a commuter college or something. So it's sort of an interesting thing. I mean, it was a lot of information to get thrown at you and stuff, but it seemed like a cool place.
They have music there every night of the week, which is like, it's cool because you could go have a crazy Saturday night show, or like if you just are
Since
passing
72,
through on a
man.
Monday.
Yeah.
Since 72, that place has been it's just, I love standing on the stage and looking at all the posters.
You walk around, you see people like friends of yours that played there, toured through.
Well, like one time I was in there and I saw a guy, I'm like standing there looking at the bathroom, looking at posters. I'm like, oh my God, that's Brian in his band from the 80s, but I know him from his band from now, which is Dar Sombra. Like, that's me, Jack. And they
Oh,
played
wow.
there, so.
Oh, that's cool. I love how they keep all those flyers up.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole lot of history in that Curves.
That's really
We can't wait. We're headed back there pretty soon.
I gotta assess that situation probably tonight.
What is the female bartender's name there? I loved her.
I don't think I ever met her.
Okay.
It-
She was awesome.
We usually, it's usually Trapper.
Yeah, we play on weird days.
Yeah.
Who was the sound guy?
We play at Kirby's any day we can get in.
Yeah, it'll come to you probably as soon as you click off the live stream.
Right.
Oh,
and us as well.
And I know scheduling and all this stuff, and I don't know how it all fits in your stuff, but I have to say that John from the Trolley Stop is like he's fine with you guys stopping in. He's fine with you guys stopping in anytime, but I think he would love it if you came on a Saturday because he would like more people to see you.
Like Saturday afternoon.
Oh,
People are, yeah, he's like, I would just wish that, I mean, even when I was like, I thank Faith Kelly for da-da-da-da-da, and he was like, she's awesome, like, cousin Faith, like, he is a big fan. And yeah, Saturday afternoon is a good time to play there.
I think 2 to 4 is when he normally has music and stuff there, but he loves you guys too, so
Met Kenny?
I think they met Tim. I don't know if they got to meet Kenny. You met Tim?
Tim. Did we meet Tim?
I think we met Tim.
Photographer?
Yes, Tim. He took photos of us.
Oh,
pushing
yeah,
rocks.
they look nice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yes, they got the classic Tim photos. They had the full Oklahoma City experience.
Yeah, Greg Spradlin, who I, helped me, he saw a Bubble Show. We were both, trying to get Bubble Show tickets before I even met Michael, and we both got scammed by the same person. And he was trying to warn me about this person. And then, I failed and, already bought the ticket from the scammer or whatever, but got my money back from the bank. But he didn't. But anyway, we became friends, on social media, and he was there with his family and his daughters, 2 daughters and a son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brought them, and there were people, buying records and, kind of grooving along to her stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah, man. That's some stage. I love Trolley Stop stage too. It's up there really high, and that wood stage sounds really nice.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a fun question, which you don't have to answer totally on live air, because I'm sure you guys will be talking about it a whole lot. And I feel like we'll probably have to have a solid hang off public here soon on our devices. But what would you, on this tour, and this is among shows or travel and habits and all that stuff, this can be several parts or whatever, what would you do differently and what would you do the same?
Well, we are talking about, actually, we just bought a drum machine.
Oh,
I know.
shit.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
we did this. The kind that I can program my drums into. Like I'll play the drums and
Okay.
or
Yeah,
Yo, you're a
I
great
mean, look,
drummer, Julia. That was one of
Yeah.
my favorite freaking jams of Notebook.
That was
Was
awesome.
when we played that at New Memories, the warm-up jam. We're like,
Oh,
we're freezing our asses off.
does
Let's
anybody have
jam.
footage of that?
Yeah, we got
I
some.
have a little
Okay.
bit.
I mean, I was a little rusty because I haven't been playing Rudiments.
No.
That was another thing I thought I'd be doing on tour. I was like, oh, I can just like bring my drum pad and like play while we're driving. Yeah, that didn't happen.
None of it happens. I mean, it's funny.
Oh.
That was a really good
that's
jam.
definitely
It was one of the best versions.
I really think if we could get a bigger car, like I don't want to sell my VW Bug, but like if I have to, I don't know. I've got the tour thing. I really enjoy traveling.
I highly
So-
recommend the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan SXT.
Yeah.
Even being able to
Lulu,
recline the
wait,
seat, like,
Is it Lulu?
Yeah,
Lulu or Lula?
Lulu.
Oh, Lulu. Well, yeah, Lulu.
Lulu. And
Tallulah.
the thing is, man, it's a van with good gas mileage. I'm not, just saying, if you're ever looking for a good, steady touring van, she's sturdy, man, and she's very good on gas. And the engine hasn't never let us down. 200.
So knock on wood, yeah. Knock on car.
wheel. Just throwing that out there for y'all.
I don't know. And I don't know about the drum machine either. Like, there is something about just being in the moment. If you have a track or something, then it kind of takes away from like, the moment of like, okay, we could do, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
If
Maybe have a drum machine song, You start out with songs and then
we could, yeah, you're right. We could just have
You got-
songs.
Yeah, I mean,
do whatever you want. There's no rules.
They make fold-up kits now too. They make kits the size of like a attaché case. You just unfold it and you got a little drum set.
Oh
You know?
yeah, like the cocktail, like the
Yeah,
cocktail
it's like-
drum set.
They're like fold-up cocktail sets.
see that's. But then it's like, oh, but we need another suitcase because one of the next things, what worked,
More gear. man.
what worked.
Great, now we got more gear.
But what worked and didn't work was like we just really didn't have any merch, and that was a problem.
Yeah, we couldn't actually afford the merch. We were like, we just can't. I was like, we were just so tight on money.
Yo, the shirts are up there, man. They went up.
The shirts are really tough, yeah.
Yeah.
But we did
First
meet
tour.
a guy, Scott. Oh my gosh, this band is so good in Oklahoma City. Helen, you probably heard of them. Helen
Yeah.
Helter Skelter.
I have heard of them. I
Heard of
don't
them.
think I've ever seen them live,
They
though.
were awesome.
Well, their drummer also does silk screening, and they were awesome. They're just really great guys, and so you make connections with people, and so hopefully we can get a good T-shirt, just like something simple, front side only, maybe one color ink, but just a good comfortable T-shirt. We want a comfy.
Yeah.
And then, but
What's
we're gonna be working on
our
our
favorite
vinyl
one's
too.
called?
So
Soft
record-
style.
Yeah.
Soft style or Heather
Bella Canvas.
is usually, yeah, Bella Canvas is nice, but it's across the board. But that's so the merch is like an ongoing battle.
Yeah.
You know, Our
Um,
boy Parker, he's a silk screener.
And
That's
then
a
we
silk
gave
screen.
away our
Mhm.
stickers. We just gave them all away, and then later I was like, "Oh, we should have sold those. Maybe we should have been selling them. But we were just giving them out like candy. Like, yeah, big stickers."
Yeah, stickers for everybody.
It's free promo though.
Yeah. It all
It's
comes
Well, it's
back.
not
giving
free,
something
actually.
away for free. It is kind of
Yeah.
fun.
It's true. That is
But
very,
then-
very true.
Yeah, and then that'll be the other thing is really seeing. I mean, everything came up, I think, the way, this sounds hackneyed to say, the way it was supposed to, because we had come to, I think, saturated as far as, not that it was a grind or anything, but around here to have to drive an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, mostly in traffic to go, across town to do an open mic or this and that, which was great. I think it was the best thing we could have done January and February. But then to think, okay, we should do. Oh well, and it was your guys' fault because it was the Spaz Fest thing.
Yes.
You know, saying, "Hey, you guys should play this festival," and it was like, "Ah, okay, yeah, that happened?" And it's like, "Oh shit, it did." And it's like, "Oh," and then it
Wow.
just seemed like, well, we're all the way over here, and then it just made sense to do something to try and go all the way out, and we made it all the way to Cape Hatteras, which I was going to say between the venue, just almost more because it was more memorable, and then just being there because it's just so weird. I mean, I still kind of can't get over that whole string of islands or whatever they are off the coast of North Carolina. It's not like South Carolina where you've got South Carolina and then there's an island like
The Outer
right
Banks.
here.
Like the island is like there's
It's
an
like-
island and then there's like this whole. You're in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
Have you been
yeah.
there before?
It's like 30 or 40
Not
miles
that
off the
far
coast.
Oh, yeah. I think the
Yeah.
farthest I was I forget the name of the town.
I've never been to the coast of North Carolina ever.
No,
Well, it's
I was
not
there a
even
long
the
time ago.
coast. It's like it's the coast, and then you got to get on a bridge to get on that string of islands. It's like I know I've seen maps my whole life, and you see these weird little islands that are like way off the coast of North Carolina. It's like I wonder what happens there. And then then we went there.
And Michael's like,
Well,
not?
that sounds like something worth checking out.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean it would be worth.
Was it? Is it what? It's the Outer Banks, right?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what they call it?
But it's like it's not just outer. It's like it's in the ocean. It's crazy.
Couldn't get over it. He just couldn't get over
I'm
it.
still
way
every
out
time I
there.
think
It's
about it,
Atlantis.
it's so wild.
So it was a weird
I'm looking
little
it up
venue
right
we played, the Tiki Bar.
It was called
It
the
was
Wreck.
the Wreck Tiki Bar, and they were so awesome over there.
They were so nice.
So nice. I want to know how you guys feel though about playing in front of people that are eating.
Prefer not to, but will if I have to. You know, and it's like there's definitely like for me, I've definitely over the time I've done the solo work. It's like I would go really hard and yell all the time, and now I don't have as much to yell about. So it's like I can still do the rock and roll club, but it's like all right, tonight I'm gonna take it down a notch, you know, and maybe not. I won't do like the ones that are as loud. So I kind of have a dinner set or like a
Oh.
chiller vibe set. But it can also work out, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if the venue is used to having live music with people eating, then it seems okay.
Yeah.
If it's like, yeah, we'll try this out. You guys look like dinner music. Well, I hope you heard the EPK because it's
It was
no,
was
it's
because
different.
like we came from Spaz Fest, which was like, you know, like punk rock, like you know. And then we get to the Wreck Tiki Bar, and I'm like, it was hard for me to shift gears. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna sing our songs like lullabies now.
Yeah.
We have to sing their song like a lullaby, right?
But
Yeah. I mean,
But we had the late night crowd that came in, and they were so generous. And
yeah, they were all really nice, interesting, weirdos. You know, in the
in the
nicest
best way
in the
possible.
nicest
in the middle
way.
of the ocean.
In the middle
It's
of the ocean.
like I
Because
feel
we've
like
been out. I was just going to say we've been to these places in a more. I mean, especially for me, like this is almost in a weird way the first time I've been on tour because it's sort of so different. You know, instead of like you get somewhere, you wake up, you're in the venue, you're setting up, and then that's basically the whole day. And then you play the show, you break down, you know, get in the vehicle or whatever, and then you basically drive to the next place and just do it all over again. And then you might be in a town that's, you know, on a day off, but it's not. It's cool, but it's weirdly more intimate this time around. You know, being able to go to Bisbee and actually kind of meet people and talk to people and, you know, hear these stories of like, you know, Bisbee and Cape Hatteras seem like it's the same kind of idea. Like, I'm somewhere else, and then I came here, and it's like, this is awesome. Oops, I bought a house, and now I live here. You know, that's the recurring story in Bisbee, and then we heard that a few times in Cape Hatteras, and you know,
There was a cool sound guy there that was just giving us little tricks of, you know, he wanted me to turn my echo up, and we did that. He was like, "Oh yeah, now it sounds really good."
yeah. And then when we were, when we, you know,
It's a fan of reverb. See, I like reverb too.
Yeah.
you know, then when we were up there in the Catskills with you guys, because I'd never really spent much time. I think I'd been to Binghamton once, like a long time ago, but never really stayed in that whole little area down there in that Catskills area. And then, you know, hearing people, and then we went and stayed with your cousin.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. She put together a little community pop-up community thing in her barn. Like they have a community barn, and she was like, I set it up and I told everybody that you guys are going to be in town. They want you to play, and this is like open. I know. We're like, okay. So we just set it up during the day. She made us a tip jar. So we have a tip jar now. And she said, the lollybombs tip generously. And they did. They did tip generously.
So
Hell yeah. All right.
But it was that same sort of thing.
Generously, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, even in that weird, even in like that weird community, it's just, you know, all these interesting people that a lot of times you're just driving down the highway, and some of them you don't, you know, you would never see that little town, or some of the little towns like Parksville or
Wichita.
or well, Wichita you kind of you can drive through it.
Troy.
Troy's a weird one that unless you had some
It's like
reason
tucked
to be
away.
there, I don't know that you would actually necessarily go there. You know?
Greenville too. It's like there's a lot happening, but
Yeah, they're
it's
kind of
like,
these weird little tucked away places, you know, that aren't like pinpointed on anybody's map really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was just cool. It was a cool whole different experience for I mean for me this time around that made it kind of, you know, different. You know, instead of being on tour and then trying to carve out your own time of like, oh, where's a cool restaurant? What's a cool museum to go to? Or where can I walk around and stuff? This tour seemed a lot more, I don't know, personal and intimate. It was weird. I mean, but
It's a good
cool.
thing, man.
yeah, that's awesome.
You got to meet different people, hear their stories, and you know, find out different things about people. Like we stayed with my cousin, found out that her boyfriend, did we play cards with them? I don't know what we did. We just like hung around the table, I guess, and ate dinner. But her boyfriend like worked on The Exorcist, and he
was a gaffer.
was a gaffer, and you know, you're finding out all these cool things about these people, and really getting to know that the people that you're playing with, and the bands too. Like we've been playing with a lot of different bands. That's the thing that I love. But then also, like you said, sometimes it's not very lucrative that way. But just getting to know these people is so enriching and more valuable than sometimes money, right?
Tell you what, Stuart, Florida, man.
yeah.
To Stuart, Florida.
No, I'm kidding. But, you know, just, you know, and especially with some of these places that we played and meeting some of these people that are definitely like, hey, if we could, you know, give them a little more time.
That is yes. We need to book farther out, 6 months in advance at least, right?
That's what it seems like. So
It's like, I'd say, yeah, I start envisioning almost like my dream is to get a year booked out, or at least have a site on the year, because it's weird. Like a lot of venues I find, or like so many of them in Maine and Florida, do I have an issue with where they're like, oh, we book out the whole year a year earlier, and you're like, shit. So you need to think like so far in advance, but then some venues are like, we book 2 months out in advance.
Yeah. And sometimes, like if you do book really far out in advance, and you got to keep in touch with the venues to sometimes things fall between the cracks.
Yeah.
So like you gotta make sure you're still on.
It's crazy. It's an
everything's still
RPG game.
good. Yeah, it
sure.
really is. A lot of circle backs.
A lot of circle backs.
Back around. We need to write a song called "Circle Back Around."
But yeah, I think what we need to maybe try, I mean, I guess, which is kind of hard thinking, trying to book 6 months in advance, because if we're thinking about 6 months in advance, that would mean, all right, well, let's look at Columbus, let's look at Catskills, let's look at Troy, let's look at, maybe even a lot of the places up in that area near Woodstock that maybe would be available if we said, in a week or so, we sat down and tried to figure out.
There's so many great places up around up around like Kingston, Woodstock, Saugerties, that area. There's a lot of really neat venues up there.
In Rochester too. I mean, it's also like it's easier when you like right now. I've been booking for our September run, and it's like, do you have any what's your availability look like in early October, and are you interested? And then they come back with a few dates. So instead of being, and then it gets more narrowed down, and then you try to fill in the dates like exactly like, hey, Monday, November 15th, who wants it? And it's like, it's sometimes you have a day off, which is good. I'm learning.
FK doesn't like to take days off, but
I'm starting to get it.
Usually it's a Tuesday or a Monday or a Wednesday.
Laundry day.
Yeah.
What about that festival? Are we gonna ask, or should we ask him about that later?
We could say, actually, we need to hop on that probably this evening. So there's this festival. Without going too much into it, it's up in Kingston, and I don't know what you guys are doing specifically. October, I think it's 11th,
It's not
12th,
paying,
and 13th.
though. That's the thing, right? It doesn't pay.
It's not a paying thing, but it's called O Positive, and
Okay.
it's got something to do with making healthcare available to artists and musicians and stuff. So,
oh, dude,
I'm into that.
I'd be down for that.
in lieu of getting paid, I guess I don't know the details. So it's like, we're gonna.
You're
look
playing
at
for a higher purpose, man. Sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
I know it's kind of weird to say, but
I forget what it is that you're playing literally for, but then your pay is actually,
You get some health care.
yeah,
You get to get your eyes checked, or
Yeah. It's cool.
far out,
something,
man.
stuff like that.
That's cool.
But if you want to do it, the last day of submission is the 28th,
Okay.
which is
Yeah, send us the info because we'll definitely at least look into it. Kingston isn't
Yeah.
isn't
Got some
far.
friends out there too, so it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
to decide that,
You'll
is that
Throw
going to
Billy
be
Riker out in there.
yeah.
right?
Well,
Yo, so we met this guy. Right? He came to an open mic a couple months ago with Lana Orr and Chris Gartman. His name's Billy Riker. He's a guitar player. Dude, this guy is like.
This is so fun.
Yeah, he's like.
He was so fun to jam with.
You bring him with you, man. You got.
Well,
like,
maybe we'll see if he wants to play on this thing. So the festival's in October. Okay.
It's like a symphonic orchestra.
That's
in one
not a
hand.
question. And October is what? That's 6 months out. So it's like 4 to 6 months, and then it's like for me, it's like if a festival pops up, then it's like
I think
you
he's
just-
up there in King.
you have a destination. There's like exploratory tours, and there's destinations.
yeah, which I think that was what this was. It's one thing to go and play in Phoenix or Bisbee, and not that that's not it's not monumental, but it's not it's in our backyard, but it's a big giant backyard. But
Yeah.
but the way that we set this up, to think that we started on the West Coast because we made a video
Yeah,
for,
on the ocean, on the beach. We were like, let's make a video before we go.
saying, hey, we're going out and doing all this stuff. So we were on literally the Pacific Ocean West Coast right there, and we went into the Atlantic Ocean,
and then up to you guys.
and then up into New York State, and then coming back through the Midwest and everything.
The
So it wasn't even
next time you have to start in Catalina and end at the islands in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys did a solid figure
Yeah.
8. Because then because the Oklahoma too, it's like
It was a pretty solid figure 8.
yeah, it's literally, well, curbs then
Yeah.
completes the figure 8.
You guys Infinity the
That's
USA.
cool.
But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of untapped stuff, like, we didn't get to really investigate Texas at all, and
Oh
not because we
man,
didn't want to, or
this whole damn country.
It's a big country, man.
It's this country. People are like, oh, why do you go to the UK? I'm like, well, money. But then also I'm like, how will I get my Moog there? All that stuff. But then also like, this country keeps you busy,
It's huge.
especially if
And it's
you want to just keep seeing your friends.
Well, it's big. It's big if you hit the smaller towns, like y'all said earlier. Those little nooks, out there tucked away outside Philadelphia. And outside
New York City.
New York City, and outside you go there, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of places.
A lot of towns, a lot of people
Yeah.
doing cool shit.
lot of cool stuff going on. They all have cool little music pockets. That's the neat thing.
People love music everywhere, so there's always a scene somewhere.
yeah.
Well, and then we're finding out, just some of the realities of stuff, because when we played at Augusta at
Soul Bar.
the Soul Bar, which was super cool.
Jason,
And he's super
He's so
nice
cool.
and everything, but you run into the realities of stuff where it's like, I think in the 80s and early 90s, especially maybe even up through into the early 2000s even, places would just have music all the time. But some places seems like they're running into, and I don't know if some of this is post-pandemic or just changing tastes or what's going on, that he can't do live music.
no,
He doesn't do live music on Saturday and Friday, and it's like,
What does he
it's
do?
crazy, man.
it's like
DJ,
disco, it's DJ stuff, yeah.
because it sells more than rock and roll, unfortunately. And I always say there's place for that. I'm happy it exists. I'm happy DJs are getting paid, but also and like getting work and doing their thing. But that's why you got to keep the rock rolling on, fight
Yeah,
the
man.
good fight. And
It's just a different.
pandemic it's changed a lot though too.
Well, there's always been different pockets of like, okay, for example, Thursday night at the Dale, kick-ass rock and roll live music. Friday night at the Dale, kick-ass
Karaoke.
best karaoke in New York State. Karaoke boys. So it's like, it's just two different kind of genres of things going on. So
I think also, and it's, there's so many times where you go out to a venue or it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we couldn't fill the room. And it's like, well, we have these really great, it's always quality over quantity for me. Like, we have these awesome people here. But I think the thing is, you're up against Netflix every night. And now you're up against TikTok, and you're up against, it's so much easier for people to sit and home
McDonald's parking lot
and watch them,
TikTok videos.
And it's times are tight all around too. So it's people go, am I gonna go watch music every night of the week? But that's why, there's people coming up with alternate ways of doing these music things, so it's
getting a little more primitive.
People, yeah, it's actually, I think it's getting to a point where it's like people can't afford to go see, like, I love this band, like Arcade Fire, it's like I wanted to go see them, but I'm like, I can't pay freaking $300 for these seats way out here and drive 3 hours and
$100. These festivals,
sometimes even more.
my friend,
$50, and then some people are going, I will go to the brewery and catch that.
The thing is, then you get
random band.
You get into the big show, and then what are you paying for a beer, Michael? Like, $17 for a can of wine.
Yeah.
So I think the people on the base ground are definitely starting to show up more, because it's like, all right, after COVID, this is my theory. After COVID, they have finished watching all the Netflix series. They binged it all. You know what I mean? Now they're itching to get out and go see some
They
music.
watched every
They can't
Walking Dead
afford to go
available.
see all of their favorite, like all of the bands they've loved since the mid 2000s and 90s and 80s and 70s or whatever, who you got to pay a lot of money. So they will go to the brewery or they'll go to the Spaz Fest and they'll discover new energy, you know? So that's my theory
It's the
that
hope
I
for the
am,
future.
I'm hoping to speak in emotion.
I know. I'm hoping too, because to have more venues that have a reserve of money to pay their musicians too, like, you know, that they don't have to bank on the people coming in to buy the beer, or bank on the people that, like, they have a reserve of
It is a
money.
symbiotic relationship, though. It's like when you do,
Yeah.
that's my thought, is like you keep, every time you return to a place, 5 people turn into 10, turn into 50, you know, and then it's like,
Well, I mean, yeah, I know that's absolutely true. I mean, the first time I saw U2, there maybe 20 people in
oh, wow, that's,
a
that's
tiny
crazy.
club. And then the next time I saw them, it was, I think there were 50, maybe 60, something like that. And then you turned around and they did that Red Rocks thing. And,
Wow.
Yep.
and then now, you know, I think they're still kind of the biggest band on the planet in the big picture, you know.
I mean, they're still you too. That's for sure. Like that's,
Yeah, man, it was the Red Rock show.
But yeah,
and then once you're there, there's no turning back.
I just hope that there's, but like I said, I just hope that there's like more venues that are stashing away money so they can pay artists and put artists up, you know, because
I
there's
get
so
it.
many of
It's
us.
like,
That's the thing, man. And that if they're music venues, like, okay, you want live music.
yeah.
Okay, people, especially people that are taking the time to like create live music and go out and play it. There's
And the
equipment.
risk.
There's equipment. There's gas. There's travel.
Yeah.
There's all these things that
Eating.
aren't thought about when people are booking musicians. They're just thinking, oh, this guy's going to come play guitar at people for a while, and like, you know, it's going to be this and that. You need to be able to at least make the trip pay for itself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not, you know, that's asking like the bare minimum as an artist, just wanting to go out and perform, you know, but to have to try to make a living paying out of your own pocket to go play guitar at people, it's like you can't do that all the time. Then if you're going to call yourself a music venue, I think you should at least be able to compensate the musicians playing,
Yeah.
whether it's through a percentage of the bar. And this whole ticketed door sales thing doesn't work.
Tough for me, yeah.
It doesn't work. So, you know, you're kind of right there. Like, you gotta, what you want to play?
It's like you're lucky if you get
a
Denny's
duo
at the end of the night.
Yeah, you got a duo that's going to play for 2 hours. I don't think $100 an hour is too much to ask.
No. But then you do have things you do for love, like on the Tuesday nights you go to, you know, you roll up to Curves.
Yeah,
but they also, you know, they make sure you're all right. But it's like you have things you do for love, like the Side Pony, or, you know, it's where it's like we wouldn't have met all these crazy people without it.
You got venues that want a full band, but when you got a full band, you got drum equipment, you got guitar equipment, you got bass
You got 4
equipment.
separate lives.
You got 4 or 5 separate lives. So now, instead of, you know, a couple 200-300, you know, now it's got to be, you know, 1,200-1,500 in order to even make it worth all those people coming out.
Yeah.
So it's a tough.
It's a battle.
So I mean, is it musicians that have to up the game, or is it the venues?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a group
No.
effort, all different people, because like Michael said in one of the interviews, it's like a team effort. Like, you need these certain people. You need the booking agent. You need the person who's going to like put the flyers up and like spread the word that the music is going to be there. You know, like, remember
and then the journalists,
the radio people, and you
Here's
know.
the thing, if musicians can't afford to go out and play, then it's what's going to be AI generated radio
And that's
music.
the DJs, you know, because the
DJs
will bring out.
Well, and then DJs will be replaced with AI. So you won't even have to have the DJs anymore, because now you could just AI all your shit.
Just press go.
You know, so you don't even need you know, it could really. I mean, what you can bring it down to the singularity.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, just pay the artist, man, so we can keep
Or
rocking.
just be upfront. That's always my favorite thing.
Yeah, just say we can't pay
it.
you, but we can feed you.
and put you up.
Sometimes it's worth it. You make a lot of new friends,
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. And it's, in all this whole thing, it's not in, you know, like, like we're complaining either.
No,
But
it's just
but there is definitely that reality of, well,
And it's for everyone on the level, of doing this. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, and I've read some, I think it's Reddit or somewhere about open mics or like I can't remember where I was reading this, but it was, musicians that are playing for free, like why are they doing this? Because it's like a bad precedent
they
for
can't not
those of us
play.
that are trying to make money. I don't know where I read this, but, it's like, well, we're trying to get experience for it. Like for me, like I'm trying, this is new to me. Like I need the experience. So hopefully we'll get tips, but we're playing as much as we can. And so gelling as a couple, gelling as a band when we are with the band and,
Well,
learning
there's
all.
also, this is a theory I've had for a while, and it's like, well, whether you like it or not, music is a business. It's like, yes, it is a form of it is a very intense business because it is a form of your purest expression.
It's nonstop.
And it's nonstop work. It's a 80-hour work week. You wake up, and if you don't carve out time for yourself, it's like, I got people, it's like messaging and promoting and all this stuff. Because the cool thing about this time of existence is that you can do a lot of stuff on your own. You can order the shirts, you can make a street team, you do the emails, you can do the promo, the booking, all that crap. But to me, it's like any good business needs like 5 years to take off, or 2 to 10 years. So it's like
the old 2 to 10.
Yeah, so it's like, in a way, it's like the first tour or two is kind of like an investment in the business. That's kind of how we've looked at it. Is like, all right, well, you're investing in it by going out and making the connections and meeting the bands and making the routes. But yeah, it's there's definitely those moments of
well, I mean, for me, it's not even like, oh gosh, are we going to keep doing this? The question to me is, how do we keep doing this?
yeah.
And just
Move
figure
to the
out.
Catskill.
I mean, that's a discussion we're going to have of like, well, where are we actually going to live? And in the big picture, I mean, things all make sense when they're happening, and then you get to
That's when you.
present moment and have to reassess like what's going to be the best thing moving forward and all that kind of stuff, and then to think of how are you going to do it, and all that kind of thing. So just to be able to afford it. It's not even, I guess, I don't know what the right words to use for it, because it's, because it really is a full-time job, and it's like, well, I'm not.
It's more than a full-time job. This is the hardest I've ever worked
But it's
in
the
my
best
life.
job.
But it's the best job. I've
You love
enjoyed.
doing it though too. You work hard if you love the job.
Yeah, true.
But there's an element of, not to put too fine of a point on it, but not being in your 20s, and it's a little different. I mean, it's kind of weird because I feel like, on the one hand, going out and doing all this stuff in this way, and having these experiences in this way, it's all so very familiar, but weirdly, it's like it's brand new again, because we'll be in places and it's like, this is just like 1986. And then I'll think like, but there should be more people here. And it's like, well, I'll think back to 1986, and it's like, there were plenty of places where no one was there. Whether it was going to see a show or playing a show. But
Some of the best shows I remember from tour, when it's just like the bartender, sound guy, and like 5 or 6 people.
oh,
Those,
absolutely.
You got the whole dance floor to yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's that thing of, it has that weird dichotomy of, on the one hand, and it's not to take anything away from those sorts of experiences, because some of those are the most magical. I mean, I've been party to playing plenty of shows where it's like, yeah, it's the bartender, and I don't even know if there were actually paying customers there. Uh, there was some show in Wisconsin we played, and we got the equivalent of gas money. Like literally, here's $20, in the same way there would be, here's $60 today because it's
Yeah.
Here's $25 and a check for $3.33.
yeah. So and those are some of the best shows ever. But then reality comes and smacks you in the head.
Why am I doing this?
Not even like, why are we doing this? It's like, well, how can we make this happen?
How are we doing this? But then
Because
little random things will pop up and you'll go, okay, now
There's a couple venues on the trip where maybe I went. Why am I even standing here right now? I could be like,
not the past trip.
I could be at a
Not
Denny's.
this
Not
is
this
a-
past trip.
Not the past two, actually,
Yeah.
I'd say. Some of the deeper dives.
Like I could just unplug right now and it won't matter.
I could just stand here,
yeah,
stand here for 3 hours and no one is, they're watching sports.
I know my friend who actually is a flight attendant, and we were flying together. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Michael Evans from the Flaming Lips." She was like, "I saw them. I think it was in Arizona, right? I don't know." She was like, "I saw them when there was a guy that had his back to the audience the whole time, and nobody was in there." She was like, "There might have been like 3 other people in there." She's like, "But it was such a good show." And she said, and then Michael goes, "Oh yeah, that was me." Like back to the audience.
it's my Jesus and Mary Chain phase.
Yeah, that's a great phase.
So funny.
But yeah, I mean, but it's like I can't actually imagine doing anything else. So
Nah, I'm
At this
unemployable.
point, yeah, it's like this is. I want to be doing this with you,
yeah,
It's a
and this.
magical experience.
I
And
mean,
you
what the
never,
hell else
you
are we
never
gonna
know
do
what
if we're not
happens.
doing this? Seriously, what would the 4 of us be doing if we weren't playing music to people? I know, right? Crickets. It's like,
I mean, the things pop up in my head, and I'm
I
like,
know, me too. I'm
oh,
like, well, we could create some sketches, and we could like put some
nah.
sketches together. We'd be a traveling band
I would
of
just
like
be. I'd
weirdos.
probably go be a carny somewhere.
I'd teach
Yeah.
workout. I'd probably teach workout again.
Just get a job as a carny, working.
Coffee shop, but if it's not, if it wouldn't,
see now,
Traveling circus.
see now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're reenacting like a real life Spinal Tap here. It's like, well, yeah, I can work at a haberdashery. And what can I do, madame? Yeah, I think I can do that.
I want to see the new one. Is it out yet? The new Spinal Tap?
I don't know if it's
what is a new Spinal
Yes.
Tap? The issue with spending so much time booking shows, I have no idea what's going on in world.
In world. I don't know world.
I know.
There's a movie out.
I don't know world.
Oh yeah. We should virtually watch it when it comes out. Like I'll set it like this.
that.
Michael and I used to do this like 1, 2, 3, go, press play, and then we just like race back and forth during the movie. We could do that.
That'd be fun. Well, I think we all got a lot of laptop work to do.
Yeah.
And figuring out, and the future is bright. My last question is, so wait, what are you doing this week?
Yeah.
What are you doing now that you're home?
You want to come up?
Well, so then you've got your friends that live here.
Michael's
like our
thinking about it. He's like, I don't know, maybe I might want to come up there.
our friends came out last night to our show, and then one of our friends is his birthday, so we're doing a birthday. I'm gonna actually take a ballet class in the morning that I haven't done, and I'm so excited about it. It's like
really
thing
quick.
that I like.
How was the show last night?
Yeah.
It was
I was
really nice. We were exhausted. I was exhausted. I don't know about you, but I probably had a little bit too much beer to get up because we got there so early. And
Oh man.
but
Yeah,
it
you
was a
get there
great
too early.
way to end the tour, and our friends were there, and yeah, and then just good to be back and where we started really at like
Those
one
are
of
the
the
nights it's kind of good to have a few extra beers.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Huh?
I had to take a load off. That was what just happened. Like,
Well, it's like you show up at Kirby's too early and then you get full of schlitz by the time you hit the stage.
well, me and Trapper and the Jaeger, man.
You know?
There's only so,
It's like,
Oh,
fuck, now I gotta
she
play?
made us these shots of white Russian shots at Kirby's. It was out of a can. It was out of a can, but it was like, you want to
What?
take some white Russian shots with us? And I was like,
I gotta meet this bartender.
It was
Yeah.
it was after the show.
It was after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this before the show because I really wanted to. I thought that was a really good show, though. I didn't even drink at all before that show, but
Oh,
I thought all the shows were good. I thought all the shows had something about them where it was either like that was really good, or oh, maybe we could do something a little bit different here. We could try and do some other iteration of
yeah, we've decided that the bass amp works better with the 6.
with the bass 6. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
That's right.
it
we
does.
think. Yeah.
Well, because
Better
we
logos.
played in Indianapolis, and they had some backline stuff that everybody could use, and so I actually played through an actual bass amp, like a little Ampeg head, and then it was 410s, like a GK 410 thing, and I was like, man, this sounds wicked. And then there was somewhere else where
You guys got to play at Healer DIY. Please
Yeah,
try to book yourselves there. It's so fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
definitely will.
Healer DIY. Where's that, Indianapolis?
Healer DIY.
And we haven't
We'll
looked at
send
the
it to
actual
you.
We'll send you
shows
the
in
info.
Indiana.
And I'm sure if you're booking that far out, because I was talking to, I think his name was Colin, I think, who
Oh.
runs the place.
Really good
And-
sound guy.
And 6 months out seems like a good,
Oh,
what do you call it, lead time. But yeah, just thinking of like, okay, well, how should we do this? And of course, well, there's all these, we basically have what we need, but it's like, of course, everything could be a little bit better. So, a nicer amp could be something, or blah, blah, blah.
I'm definitely going to be playing the drums this week because I've missed my drum set. I can't wait to play those.
Yo,
I was going to play those.
You're a kick-ass drummer, man.
yeah, that was awesome. That was
You
one of
kick-
my
Yeah, you
highlights.
kick
Yeah.
ass on the drums.
Aww. I have a great drum teacher, Walter Garces. He's
Very
my
cool.
drum teacher.
Walter, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
But yeah, booking shows, and we're going to touch base with you guys. We're going to,
Actually, we're going to go see a show on Sunday. We're going to go see Swans.
We're going to see Swans.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Swans?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think, Julia, weren't you telling me about it?
Yeah. I think I was.
Yeah, that's,
We were
well,
going-
freaking, well, enjoy that. I'm going to definitely check them out, too.
with one of my musical heroes. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Who's that?
Well,
My God.
David J. Haskins invited us to go.
Okay.
Yeah, Love and Rockets, Bauhaus guy.
Bass player.
Oh, fuck yeah. Very cool. Oh, man.
What? Oh my
I
God.
know.
Yeah, that's my God.
Come on,
Holy
guys.
I know.
Now you're speaking. Now you're
trying
speaking
to-
my
I'm
language.
trying to- Cool.
Next thing you know, you're gonna be saying, "Oh,
cat vibe. 'Cause
oh
I
yeah, I'm
just
just gonna hang out with.
I'm like, but like, I gotta
I'm gonna be hanging out with Depeche Mode tomorrow night. Sorry.
get my sauce on.
So
That'd be cool to hang out with Depeche Mode.
Yeah, and then I think we're going to just spend this time before we head over to Bisbee and Tucson next month to
Well, wait, hold up. You just snap. I didn't hear you.
Bring sunscreen.
Hello.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, all right, you're back. It was so weird. You said we're going to Bisbee and Tucson next month, and then when nothing happened.
Oh,
So what was that?
the little thing saying the battery was low came
Oh.
up, so I had to click on that. So
So we're gonna figure out like if we're gonna do this festival, submit to that, and then try to find some
and
anchor
then
dates.
start booking. Yeah, so
Michael's,
we're going to start booking, and then we're going to start, retooling the show.
and working on the record.
Again, we're going to work on.
We're gonna get this record finished.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say when. Yeah, it's gonna come out, but it's coming out eventually.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
We're going to make get enough material to say here's an album, and then we'll have to figure out what format it's going to be in, because of course that all costs money and stuff too. So it's always something.
Come on up.
Oh yeah, it's
Come on up.
well, things cost money out here too. You know, it's not like it's, Casco's ain't
Absolutely, but
well, it's great having you guys as neighbors. It was like, hey, you want a cup of coffee? Yep.
Yeah, come on up for Cord and
fun.
Living.
Working out.
Yeah, it was like, man, it was a blast. So
Let's do it.
I'm glad you guys made it home safe though. That was like, it's like, man, that's a long cross country is no joke.
I know. I kept
No.
on saying we're still alive and we're home, but I'm like, we're not home yet.
Yeah, I would worry. I would worry about you guys when you're on those hailstorms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I've said that. Oh, we're basically home, and then without getting into all that.
I remember though that the best car I ever owned was a 1997 Hyundai Elantra. The thing was like a baby tank.
Yeah.
Road Warrior.
So,
I love how you.
Yeah, I know you guys
named it for us. You named our car.
I didn't even know. It was just a little nickname. I didn't know she had a name.
Well, she has a name now. Baby Blue Road Warrior.
Well, she was good to go, man. She got you there and back.
That little car, I had no idea when you bought it what it was in for.
She'll go 500,000 more miles, man.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
we looked at the mileage, and we did 8,064 miles.
Oh yeah.
Not bad.
So.
Very good. Did you get any oil changes?
I know. I mean, Michael. I was like, Michael, you got to check this oil.
We topped it up. It was down a quart at one point, but put some oil in it, and it's running like a champ.
Thank you so
we gotta
much
bring old Lulu
for
out
doing
tomorrow.
this interview. We're gonna interview you next.
Oh shit!
At some point.
All right, not yet, not tonight. Okay. All of our phones are dying.
Okay.
But we'll pick a date. Guys, we love you. I'm so glad you made it home safe, and I'm really, really excited to see the future.
Yep. If you want to look at real estate, just to get a hold of James Kapakowitz.
Anyways, y'all, we love you. I'm gonna save this and make sure that I get the file and everything, just because it was a good fun interview, so we can use it for. Gotta have something to post.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.